Ah,
Whoa.
I well, yeah, I know it was serious. Is it okay if I record
Oh,
this?
yeah, no, it's fine. Hey, I
Okay.
like your background, by the way. That's
Thank
cool.
you. It is, yeah, it's yeah, I paid a guy, well, he said he wanted 20 bucks for or 15 and I paid him 20 because I was like, you're doing me such a solid.
Yeah, it's
So
cool. I like it.
yeah, it's pretty that's I mean, that's if I can do a little blurb and then we'll get back to talking about you and all your stuff. But uh that's one thing that I really like about this show, and before it was a show, it was a mic, is I really wanted just like the promotional stuff to be just as clean and sexy and cool as possible.
Yeah.
Because you know,
It looks almost like Reboot, which is what
yeah,
I like about it, you know?
yeah, I
Reboot.
think,
Do you remember
yeah.
Reboot? Was that a thing?
I vaguely remember it. I mean, let's see, you're 27?
I'm 29.
29. Okay, okay.
Close.
So, okay. Well, yeah. So, I mean, we're
Thank you.
a little, well, I mean, saying you look 27 and being 29, like, how flattering can that be, really? It's not.
It is very flattering. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Well, I'll take it. But oh, what were we? We were talking about. I was talking about how pretty the background was.
Yes,
Uh,
how worth it to get somebody to do all that for you for 20 bucks is amazing.
oh, yeah. I mean, and that's one thing I really like about it, is that it's such a pretty mic. I think everything about it is just so nice. Oh, now I remember what I was gonna say. You were talking about being mean on stage, and I, I remember part of the reason why I reached out to you is because I don't remember. I think it was, maybe it was one of the rampantly. I'm trying to remember where I saw you exactly.
It's Dat Fan for
Dat
sure.
Fan. That's right. That's,
Yeah.
yeah. It was Dat
I
Fan. It
don't
was,
do too many open mics. I have like a pool of like 3 people, and I'll do that on a regular basis, and I have my schedule all kind of set out.
hmm
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not hopping. I see so many like Zoom mics, and I'm so tempted to just be like, let's fucking do this. Cause I am such a mic. Like, I love set
Fiend.
counts. I like reps. I
hmm
want reps.
Oh yeah. I totally get it.
But yeah, Dat is where we
Yes. So yeah, I saw you on Dat. I was very impressed, but I was also, you had this like like you just had this edge, this bite, this uh I don't want to say spice. Spice is a little, I feel
You
like
can say
spice.
spice. I'll accept spice.
It, well, it's crunch, maybe crunch. I'm using a lot of
I don't know
food
if crunch
terms
is
here.
better. I don't know if
You're well, yeah, you're like a spicy Dorito, just
hey, I like Doritos.
fair enough. All right. Well, Angela Dorito Scannura.
It's
Um
Angelica. It's not
and
Angela. Just so you know.
Angelica.
Yes, like
Got it.
Rugrats.
Yes, like exactly. That's the only other Angelica I know. Um,
There's an
but
Angelica in Hamilton, which was funny.
really, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten around to watching that yet. Oh, gosh, I mean, at this point, if I ever wanted to see it live, I'd have to wait until 2024. So it's
Yeah.
just like,
No, it's
oh,
yeah, no, it's available. It's out there.
okay. So are you from Canada?
Yes.
What
That's a
part of
big
Canada?
bug. Is that
Oh,
a
it's
giant
huge. Yeah, it says on the back, it says super. So it really, it's
Oh.
mostly for soup, but I use it for tea and
Do you ever
espresso.
use it for soup?
I don't think I've once used it for soup. I think it's only been for beverages.
But it's like it's nice to know that if you wanted to, you'd
It's
have that
there.
option. That's
It's
a
waiting
great
for
bug.
me. Thank you. Thank you.
I've been using a large
Mason
pasta
jar.
sauce.
I
I buy
oh,
pasta sauce.
you know what? I used to do that. I had a jar that was vodka pasta sauce, and yeah, that was what I used. It's something about drinking from a mason jar, like the thickness of the glass and the temperature.
I feel secure, but I also feel a little, hipster, like hipstery and not a like, those mason jar people that are
Mason
just
jar
so
people. Yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
people that are like zen and shit that are like, have you tried breathing deeply? Like, those
Yeah.
people.
Oh yeah. I
Those are mason
100%.
jar the mason
That's
jar
the
people.
mason jar people. That there. Where's that song in Wizard of Oz? We're off to see the mason jar people. Um,
Where were we? You asked me something.
Oh, I think I was gonna ask you something simple, like what part of
Call me a
Canada
Dorito.
you're from. Hmm?
Oh, yes. Toronto.
Toronto. Okay. Okay. And then I guess
I dated somebody. You're in Pittsburgh, right?
mhm,
I dated somebody in Pittsburgh like a long time ago,
many moons ago.
many moons ago now,
Mhm.
like 2013.
What part of Pittsburgh were you in?
Um,
I mean, it's not a very big city, so if you just say Pittsburgh, you can only be so many
I
places.
actually used to teach in Pittsburgh
Hmm.
too. I taught there a few times and belly dancing
Mhm.
at a dance studio, but where was I? I don't Allegheny,
Yeah, I mean that's just like the Pittsburgh area. I mean, I'm not from here. So I was
you know
I
what? Oh. Do you guys still have Spac Bros there?
yes. Yes, we do.
Yes, that place. That's where I was.
Okay.
Want to know where I was in Pittsburgh? There. I was right there.
Okay, that gives me an idea of where you yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not super familiar where everything is, but that does give me a closer idea. So gosh, I really should just prepare I'm trying to be as casual as possible.
Oh no, you gotta, yeah. No, it's fine. Yeah, so I was there.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm in Toronto, where
Mhm.
I was born, but I left a few times to go perform because I'm a flamenco dancer too. I was in Spain dancing. I come from a
Wow.
dancing family,
Okay.
and we have a dance school, and we're teaching online right now, and it's pretty great.
Wow, that's actually yeah, I can only imagine. That's sick. That's
Yeah,
fucking awesome. I I don't know. I mean, I can dance, and I enjoy it. I derive pleasure from it, um, but I've never put the effort into like building a skill set. You know what I mean? It's like people who whistle or people who hum or sing. You know,
right.
it's the same thing for me with dancing. It's I'll
Ah,
move.
it's okay. Nobody's gonna come after you for it. I think you're okay. You know, people think that I'm like in love with dancing, and I love it as I love doing it. I love teaching it, but I've never liked going dancing.
Real. So is it because it feels like work
Yeah,
or?
like I'm
Mm,
tired. I
hmm
don't want to be like, oh my gosh, here we are again. I want to lay
hmm
down.
and relax. Yeah, and I'm sure. Yeah, and I'm sure it's super energy intensive.
It is, it is. It's like I have a joke. It doesn't really do that well, but it's like,
Fire away.
people always think that they always think that I want to go out dancing with them. And I'm like, no, I just want to sit in a dark corner, get drunk and judge people. That's all.
That's good. I like that.
But it's like I have friends that love salsa dancing and they love meeting like some well, they used to love meeting somebody and having them like breathe in their faces and they're like, you just bun me around all night. You just bun me around all night. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Just being spun around like cotton candy, just.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I mean, I admire people though that have that sort of.
Well, it's the people that like don't get the chance to kind of fucking while out in their own way. Like they've got a desk job and they need some kind of physical release. And those are the kind of people that I really like. Yeah, I'm drawn to those people. I see why they want to do it, but I can't join them in that.
I see where you're coming from, and I think, I mean, that's sort of. Uh, this actually is a completely different thing now. I'm just
Oh,
totally heel turning, but um, I'm always very gosh. Siri is on. She's recording what I'm saying. Very nosy. Um,
Siri.
yeah, she's got an eavesdrop on her, but
I have all my series disabled. But
good.
one
That's smart.
time I was talking about wanting to invent this thing that zaps you so you sit up straight. And
Mm-hmm.
then I went on Instagram and it was immediately advertised to me. And
Yep.
I was like, what?
That's
And
pretty wild.
yeah, so it's like I don't have it enabled, but it's not enabled.
Mm-hmm. I I'm actually okay. If we're talking about jokes,
Okay,
this
sorry, I went off on another tangent.
no. It's fine. Don't. It really is fine. I'm willing to. For me, a lot of conversation is sort of like Tai Chi. It's like your momentum, my momentum, sort of the flow of the energy. Da 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 da. So I'm not. I don't have like an end goal in mind. Um, but I'm trying to write a joke now about Siri, where it's like some people are talking about maybe it's a sketch, but essentially it's like they're talking about their relationship and they're not saying that they're breaking up, but they sound disappointed, and Siri can like pick up on the tone of your voice, so it's shooting you like Tinder, Bumble ads or whatever. It's very ill-formed. Um, but what I was going to ask you was, everybody has a different kind of writing process. Some people, they write on stage. Some people are, like Seinfeld types. They take every single line and just agonize over it. Some people do, there's all sorts of things. So like, walk me through, like what's the pipeline look like for you?
Oh, like that's such a strange. Well, no, that's an interesting question because it's something that I've actually been thinking about a lot myself lately,
Hmm.
because it keeps kind of changing.
Okay.
And certainly, I'm a person that performs well just by kind of chattering, but the pressure, like the adrenaline hits, and then when I'm on stage, I can say some pretty like
Wild shit.
wild shit,
Hmm.
but it ends up being stuff that's usable
Hmm.
in the future. And then sometimes I try to duplicate it and I'm like, let the past be the past. It was a good riff. You had to be there. So it's like usually that's where I get the good stuff. Um when I've tried to forcefully sit down and write, I have a very hard time being like, new great idea. It usually
Let's
comes
go.
from, yes. And
Yeah.
I know my boyfriend is like that. He sits down and that's how he writes his jokes. He focuses, he goes through every word, and then he
Mhm.
goes on stage and he says it like how it's written. And I'm like, how the fuck are you
like
doing?
a like a Roman orator, just like just all comes out like this beautiful. So wait, you're dating another comedian?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
So,
What is that
yeah.
like?
Oh, well, gosh, I don't know why everybody is so like, if you're a comic, don't date a comic. Yeah, sure. Don't shit in your backyard or whatever.
What
And
I think it's don't
don't
shit
shit
where you
where you,
eat.
you want to shit in your backyard.
You can shit in your backyard. Just that is actually fine. It's
I don't know. I can't. I'm at the point now where for to not be with a comic, I guess, because I'm in love with my boyfriend, but to not be with somebody that understands your schedule,
Mhm,
understands the need to do it, and the feeling of a good set and the feeling of a bad set that you can kind of help each other through, and just
mhm.
it's a process that is thankless, and you need somebody that's just as passionate about it as you are, because if you love it so much, then that's all you're thinking about.
Oh gosh, yeah, you're making me. I'm having a crisis of faith right now because the person that I mean, I'm in a very very new relationship. We've only been dating for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and it's
Oh,
great. And we're very very yin and yang. So I'm, very verbal, very energetic, very like, here's an idea, here's how I'm going to build a space laser to go to blah 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 blah. I want to perform on Mars, kind of thing. And she is very much someone who is totally content to be like, wow, that's really amazing. You're a very, she's a very good fan. And
you
she's a
need
very
a
good
fan.
listener. Hmm?
And it's like you need that person to be your fan.
Hmm. Yeah.
I was with somebody that was just like wanted to be with me but was not a fan. It was really weird.
Wasn't a fan of your comedy?
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Huh.
okay, look, I'm sorry I told everybody that you're a horrible person, but
I can't imagine why they. Oh my god! I was. This is a quick.
um
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, but it's just a lot of your humor will also come out of somebody that you can like banter with too.
Yeah,
Right? And if yeah, you need somebody that's like into it. And I don't think that's narcissistic or selfish to want.
it's like doctors date doctors, lawyers date lawyers. It makes sense that you want someone who's got that same cocktail
I
of
just don't understand why
neuroses.
people beat like themselves up about it so much. If you're both comics, fine. If you're both this, it's like that's the reality of the matter is the proximity of the people you're around. It's the likelihood that you will, if you're around them, it's like
Eventually, yeah. No, it makes sense.
that group of people.
And I think for me, I mean, I think my brain has twisted its like its not its standards, but like what I find attractive. I mean, obviously, there's if someone is good looking, da 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 da, but I think doing more and more and more comedy, that's like very much what I look for. Is it, and it's not even like, is this person incredibly funny? It's like, do they have a good sense of humor? Are they able to, identify irony? And that to me is like, whew,
You just want to be with somebody that you have the same sense of humor, and you
mhm.
just fucking get each other. And I know that sounds cliche, but if it works and there's no weird latent resentment building up for some
Oh gosh.
unaddressed issue, it's like,
Yeah. So, so okay, so your boyfriend, he's very much like line, 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 right, 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 right.
and it's definitely been an influence on my life, and I try to exercise that in
Mhm,
Mike's.
mhm,
um it's really weird, and
mhm.
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I pour over exactly what I'm going to say, I type it out a bunch, I write it out a bunch, and I'm like, this is what I'm doing tonight, and then I'll do it, and it's just like, it's it's got a tension in it, and people pick up on that intrinsically.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, as soon as I take a breath and go, oh, fuck it, this is, it kind of finds its life again.
Mhm.
Um, but it's a weird, it's a mood, and it's like, oh my gosh, then you have to get into the business of getting yourself in this mood so you can deliver the non-delivery delivery. Yeah,
Yes.
I
No,
know.
no, I completely understand. Yeah, like how do I get into a mood that's authentic? And it's like even asking that question is already like you've
Exactly.
already lost in a way.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
it's an exercise, it's a tool that needs to be, it's a skill. Comedy's a fucking skill. Acting is a skill. People go, "Oh, that person's talented." They're talented. There's no such thing as talent, I don't think. It's a spark, and then you foster it and you build
Yes.
it.
Oh
And
yeah. Oh yeah. You kindle it for, as long as you want. So you also act, right?
yes.
Okay. Okay. So walk me, I mean, so okay, so you dance, you do comedy, you act, and a lot of I see, I mean, obviously you're just a performer.
Yeah.
Not I say just a, but like that's what you do
No, I'm a
pretty much.
performer. No, because it's like I have so many weird avenues that don't cross over with each
Mhm.
other, and it's like yeah, I'm a performer.
So I'm wondering, I mean, is it kind of like, do you feel yourself flexing, maybe even physically, but do you feel like you're self flexing the same muscles when you're dancing, when you're acting, when you're performing comedy?
Well, that kind of in a roundabout way is why I went into comedy, because I'm like, I don't want to dance. I don't want to have to rely on dancing professionally. I love teaching. I love certain performances still, but I don't want the life that I had, which was
Hmm.
like night slug, just dancing, you know, boom, out there. And it wears on your body.
Hmm.
And I'm like, holy shit, what can I do where I can perform still, where I don't
Hmm.
have to use my body?
Hmm.
Where I can maybe like fucking wear a sweater if I want to, and
Oh,
just,
imagine that.
oh my god, imagine that, right? And that's what brought me to stand up.
Hmm.
So I do have advantage in confidence on stage. Maybe
Hmm.
a person that hadn't performed before
Hmm.
has to face, that going, because I'm scared shitless when I have to do a set. It doesn't matter what the situation. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, and it's
Hmm.
like I have performance experience.
Well, so then okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So for me, I almost really like the stage fright because, like I can feel my pupils dilating and like I can hear my blood, and I think you understand where I'm going. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like if you can ride it, like if you can ride the Mustang, it'll take you all the way across the prairie. I mean, it might also buck you the fuck off and you'll, break your hip, but if you can manage it, I think it's super, and that's one thing I really miss. I don't get it so much with, Zoom just because it's Zoom and
no, I know. I mean, Zoom is the next best thing.
yeah,
It is strange. It still gives you that
it
rush.
can still happen. Yeah.
But there's like a minute particle missing, and that is the raw live element of it. Yeah.
Hmm.
And the only thing it's like, I obviously miss it. I can't wait to get back to it. But what grinds my gears is 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 people are like, stand-up comedy's dead, and they don't even want to touch Zoom, but
Ugh.
they want to do like these weird 1 minute Instagram clips that are like Was that supposed to be a
Is
sketch?
that a joke? Is that a bit that you're doing? Yeah. Hmm.
And it's like, are you satisfied? What for me, the toxicity of a social media, like, is the at least on Zoom, you get the live element. You're
Hmm.
not just looking and getting the likes. It's feeding a different part of your brain. It's like you're still
Yeah.
getting that element of having to register something very real, which is silence or laughter. Whereas like
Yes.
on Instagram, it's like you're just getting the likes and you're not getting it.
Yeah, you're getting your little internet points and you get out. Yeah, I can. That actually, that's a very good way of putting it, and that's kind of what's. I mean, I still struggle with because I know there's like you got to be on Insta, you got to be on Twitter, you got to be da da da. I mean, there really are some people who think that if you are a comic or you're a comedian or a comedy writer and you're not on Twitter, just like you're not a
Honestly,
comedian.
yeah, and it's so easy to succumb to that pressure in the pandemic when you're seeing everybody's got a podcast, everybody's doing this, and you're like, "Oh my God," right?
Yeah. Do I have to be that too? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I just started posting on Reddit in the stand-up shots subreddit, and it's
Mhm.
like, you get one stand-up shot that you make where you have the shot of you doing comedy and then like a one-liner.
Oh yeah, the
And then
yeah.
it's like if one blows up, you're like fucking jazzed, right?
Yeah,
And
like
then if
I'm
one
so
sits there,
powerful.
yeah, I'm like, yes. But then you also get like it's just like it's weird how quickly you slip into it. And it's
Oh
like
yeah.
I also don't want to be one of those people that's extremely out of touch with what's going on. So it's
Yeah.
like you got to join so that you stay with
The
everybody.
current, yeah. And the thing is like I had these preoccupations for a long time, and I kind of started doing internet comedy more or less at the beginning of the summer, so like May, the middle
Okay.
of May. And but like once I started, it was like all I did. I mean, it was just like
That's
hours and
that's
hours.
a healthy amount of time because I know people that are just getting into the game now, and it was like it's just kind of like, wait, what? You're just fucking trying this out now?
Well, and it's weird to me because it's like, okay, there's a couple of options. Sorry, you look like you were charging up a sentence. You were like,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it frustrates me when people are like, "Hey, I might try a Zoom mic and see how it is." Huh, it's like,
yeah,
go
oh
on,
yeah.
go on.
No, I mean, it's sort of like, okay, I have two options, right? Either I fold my hands and I sit back and I'm like, I'm not doing anything until I'm on stage because the most authentic experience is being on stage. And that's true. I mean, like by definition, I guess the ultimate experience is being in a real room, real stage. But then also it's like, well, I don't want to get on the stage and just have nothing written, no experience. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can either prepare the best I can or just trip on my shoelaces when I get up there.
Yeah. No, it's like you've gone through the neuromuscular process of preparing and delivering, and that gives you, I refer to it as reps. It gives you
I
a
no,
rep.
it is reps. Yeah.
You're
I mean,
doing rep.
it's like I'm trying to think. It's
But it's like, you only took a couple months before you got on Zoom. It's not like you were sitting there stewing for like a year, you
no, no.
waited a couple months, which is good. And then you went on and you've been consistent about it.
Yeah, and it's been a very interesting experience. And I mean, I posted on Displace now, and it's like I can feel things very slowly thawing out. Both in reality because it is cold outside, but then also I can kind of see pinpricks of light, and we can kind of see the end point of all of this, and we can get up out of our computers. Although I don't actually, maybe I should ask this. So once everything is open, where do you think Zoom comedy is going to go?
I don't know. I mean, Dad said he would always have a presence unless he was shooting, right?
Hmm.
I think that it will stick around in, I think it'll like by 50%, maybe it might cut down, it might be half as much, but I still think people are going to be doing online mics. Like
Hmm.
I personally know that when this all goes back to normal, you'll do as much live as you can, but maybe avoid the mics where there's three people beating off in a corner and it's like five.
Those are my favorite, Angelica. I don't know what you're talking about. Those are. That's what I look for actually. It's like one, two. There's three guys jacking off.
No, but
Okay.
it's like there used to be this that I'd go and I travel like fucking an hour to get there, and then you're waiting, and then you see the same local yokel set, and then they
Yep.
hear your set that you're trying to like work through, and nobody's
Li-
laughing, and then
Nobody's
I become
listening.
insecure, and then I gotta get home, and it's like if I can cut that night out and do two Zoom mics. That's 2 hours of my life that it have been expended for comedy, not fucking seven to
Yeah,
go
and
my ass off in Burlington
oh my god, I can't. And the
with
thing, you know what?
somebody named Stinky. There's
Yeah,
something that used to be a regular
it's
somewhere.
the Krusty Mike. It's the Krusty Mike at 1 p.m. at Krusty's Diner.
And
It's
I'm like, no, it's okay, Angelica. You're gonna learn something from this. And it's like, every set I did learn something. I do learn something from it, but it's like to get that part, like Uber, fucking transit,
cover charges, you know.
cover charges. It's like you
Yeah.
gotta support the bar,
Hmm.
buy a drink, and it's like, yes, okay, but it's like then all of a sudden I'm drinking beer, and then I'm fucking drinking another beer, and it's like if I can control myself at home.
Hmm. Yeah, no, exactly, exactly. And I mean,
I
people
don't
are. Go ahead, go ahead.
I don't think that Zoom shows are going to continue. I think we'll see a drop in those. I don't think anybody's going to pay to see Zoom comedy, but I think comics will be happy to work out because you also get to see comics from other cities, and you kind of get your foot in on what people are doing where, and you facilitate relationships. I just don't see why people wouldn't do it.
I completely agree. I completely agree, and I think I'm tempted to almost say like, I mean, people are gonna hate me for this, and that's fine. I'm just, some stupid little baby who doesn't know anything. But
Yeah, you're a stupid little baby.
yeah, I'm a stupid little Uh, but I can't help but like people are always throwing numbers out like you gotta do it for 5 years or you gotta do it for 10 years. That's when you can start getting booked. That's when you can start getting shows. And I'm like, that is a really fucking long time. But then I think about what you just said. I think about the fact that like this is 5 years of going to these bumfuck bars, squeezing 5 minutes out, not really getting the laughs or the feedback that you want. I mean, occasionally something will come back to you, and I can't help but feel like, okay, it only takes 5 years because this is the most inefficient, slow process possible. You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. Yeah,
That's
you can't. That's the thing is you got to get hours, right? And when I was dancing, I'm like, I'm going
reps.
to practice for 2 hours tonight, right? So I dance for 2 hours. To do 2 hours of comedy on a stage, the actual part that matters, you're going around all night. One day I did like 9 hours of open mics straight, and I did 20
Christ.
minutes total that day.
Yeah.
And that's the total. And it's
Yeah.
like, or I could do 10 minutes in one night, 2 1 hour Zoom mics,
Hmm.
get
Get
the same
feedback.
result.
Yeah. Get. Yeah. Exactly.
And it's
Exactly.
just like, let's stop fucking making life more difficult for ourselves.
Well, and this is a very human thing, right? This is very much like I grew up, not me, but like I had to go through the meat grinder so everyone else should. You see it in
Yeah.
comedy, you see it in art, you see it in like I'm in school right now, you see it a lot in academia
And
where
you have to, and you do, but it's like this formatting, you can get better so much quicker. But the thing about stand up is, yes, you can, that this will definitely help you get better quicker.
Mhm.
But it's like you still need to remember to live your life, and you still need to remember that stand up is something that is like, it is like wine, where it's like you can't force the natural aging process on. You got to get the, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you got to wait for things to ferment. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to ferment.
You have to just yeah, you just got to sit and stew.
Your
I
soul.
completely agree. Yeah.
But it's like that's what's so great about it, especially you being a young person, is it's like it's going to be such a great thing to. I talk like I'm 100,
Yeah, I
but
was about to say like you're 29, you look like you're 24, so like
I don't
slow
know
your
why I've always talked like I'm about to be put into the old folks home. Honestly, I'm always like, someday you'll all see back in my day. But it's like that's the part of the process you have to kind of enjoy, and then you watch the evolution of who you are as a person, and it's like documented, and it's nice.
I
I didn't
completely,
start
yeah.
I didn't start thinking about my actions until I was 25. So you're ahead of the game.
I thought you were gonna say comedy or some shit. I didn't start reflecting on shit until I was, what was it, like 26? I think 26 is when I really looked in the mirror. I completely, yeah, it's like I didn't start making any progress until right around then. Oh my god. I mean, that's
I
more or
read
less the numbers,
Sapiens.
yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Hmm. That's me in there. I know. I mean, and for me it's like, you talk to people about, like, okay, what's your process, how do you write, how are you, how do you do things, how do you make stuff, and a lot of people in comedy, and I think in life, they have this misconception that it's like, some holy light comes out from the, window and hits me, and I'm like, okay, 10 hours of, just boo 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 boo, and it's like, not really. I mean, I think what you do is you create an
Nope.
environment where it can happen by
Yes.
working steadily,
Yes.
it's like fertilizer. And so occasionally a, little fucking peony or chrysanthemum comes out
Peony
of it.
or chrysanthemum. Yes, exactly. No, it's because a lot of people think that, usually everything else in life, you apply yourself to it, you focus, you study, you get results. But that's with you study.
I thought that
I
was
don't know what that was,
I
but
like it. I like it.
flipping a page, I think.
Well, I
But
thought it was like you were in a bus, like like the knowledge
I gotta
van or
work on my
something.
act outs. Shit.
Have
You know
it
what? That's
figured
one
out by
thing. So
Tuesday. That's all I'm gonna
my
say.
bust is this is how I do bust.
But
That's
you
me
study,
flipping a
you
page.
apply yourself. I'm sorry, I threw you
You
off.
study, you apply yourself, and you get a job doing something. And it's all like A plus B equals C,
Hmm.
so people think, oh, if you do that with comedy, hello, I'm gonna be having my Netflix special in like 2 years. Watch out, everybody. And it's like I think we all come in with a romantic idea of how we envision comedy. I think we're like, I'm the funniest motherfucker around, okay? And it's my duty to make everybody in this fucking world laugh.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
my
Who
duty
else is gonna
not
do it?
only
It's I'm for the people. This is why I'm here. God damn it. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
and
Exactly.
it's like you have to think about yourself like that in some way when you start, or else you wouldn't start. And I think
Exactly.
just if and when that gets dashed, and you're like, oh, my life is standing in front of exposed brick, yelling at
Drunk,
chairs on
disinterested.
midnight.
Yeah.
Then when it's good, it's really, really good.
That
And it
makes a lot of
it
sense.
helps your other craft. It really does. It's like if it's like whatever else you're doing creatively, it really helps it.
I completely agree. No, I mean, I think, at least for me, I kind of like, I try to, I try not to be super, I try not to mysticize stuff too much. I try not to be like, well, this, you got it or you don't. There's like the spark or you don't have it. I mean, obviously there are differences in skill. Like that much, okay, cool. But at the same time, I mean, I'm really inspired by everybody on Displaced, everybody that I've met, either, through the showcases that I've
Oh
done.
yeah, that's the thing is like people are inspiring to me too, and it's like I'm grateful for COVID in a weird way
Yeah.
because of that, and it's just so nice. And it's like when we start traveling again, you travel around, you meet these people, and it's like, oh
Oh,
my
I can't wait.
god, and it's like shows will pop out up, and then if you're traveling, you do my show, and
Hmm.
I run
Yeah,
a show on a roof. I ran a show on a roof with my friend Jam Easy, who's a really good comedian.
that's actually really
Um,
sick.
and it was on the roof of my dance studio, and it's very illegal. And we're totally gonna do it. We had like 3 or 4 shows. Did we have 4? I think we did.
I thought you were gonna say we had 3 or 4 people fall off the
Oh, almost. I look okay. The first
roof.
night, the first night, one of my comics is sitting on the edge of the roof and is like, ha ha, drinking wine. And I'm like, you're my fucking headliner. If the headliner falls off, oh my gosh, the thing is that it's like it I would just drink so much that I was just running it like it was like, hey, you fucking you know, it was
Yes.
belligerent, but it was still a good time. But it was
Running
very
around with a wooden spoon, just
yeah.
get up there. Oh,
I was bartending through a window that I had to climb through, so that was fun. I had like bruises on my like. I'm like, this is the most I've ever made producing a comedy show. My goodness, I should bootleg alcohol more often. It was
there's
great.
something to this whole breaking the
We
law.
had like 50 people on that roof too, and
Oh
it's
my god. How big is your dance studio? I mean, like how big is the
so the building is pretty big. We have a small corner of it, but the roof kind of wraps around,
I
and
see.
the other businesses use it for like photo shoots and stuff too. So it's like it's totally cool to be up there.
Hmm.
And but it's like I probably shouldn't have had like
50
50.
people drinking on a roof.
And my dad's like, you got to do it again this summer. You got to do it again. And I'm just
That's
like,
a kick-ass dad you got there.
it is. But I'm like, geez, what happens if I know the cops are going to come.
Mhm. Mhm.
I know
And
they're going to come.
how do you explain that?
I don't know. I'll
That's
wait for that.
gosh, I mean, I'm in Pittsburgh and everything is locked down really, really tight.
Yeah,
And
same here. Same here.
yeah,
Nothing's happening.
and on top of that, it's super cold. And so even if like things weren't locked down, there's just nowhere that people would want to congregate.
Well, you know what's crazy is in Toronto, it's like you'd think because around this time of the year, every year in Pittsburgh, I was there in the winter too when I was going, and I know it's fucking cold. We have similar climates, right?
Mhm.
And it's just like there's people that want to go out and do comedy so badly right now, and it's like, hey, remember last year when we were freezing our asses off and nobody had any work ethic? Oh, did we forget about? Oh, now you want to go out? You can't fucking stay inside now. Oh. It's like, you dumb idiots, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Oh
it's
yeah.
whatever. But it's just like I went out today for to go get some groceries, and I was just like, and I'm done, and I hate all of you, and your nose is out of your mask, your nose is out of your mask. Fuck you all.
You were
Uh,
in a diaper around your forehead.
it's
What's
freezing.
going on? Yeah.
No, it's freezing anyways. Let's
Mhm.
just call it a day, everyone. Everyone's like, oh my God, I really want to dine indoors for Valentine's Day. I want to dine indoors. It's like, really?
Mhm.
There's big conflict here right now because Toronto's on a very strict lockdown, but the outlying areas that are kind of tourism spots out of town, these little pockets about an
Mhm.
hour and a half, 2 hours out of town, they're allowed to open. And they're
I
like,
see.
open unless you're from Toronto. We don't want you here. And all the people are like, who do you think your fucking tourists are? And well,
Jesus
they didn't say that
Christ.
word, but I'm like, I added that. But it's got,
That wasn't on the flyer I got, but I heard it in my head. I saw it. I know I can read between the lines.
but
Oh
yeah, that's the kind of
gosh.
stuff that's going on here,
Well,
right?
it's frustrating because on one hand, I want to be safe. I want to do things safely. And so well really okay, so like talking about people like besmirching Zoom, what really frustrates me is when people motherfuck Zoom because they have all these super unsafe, super big live performances they're going to do. It's like why would I go on Zoom when I've got like a 30 fucking car pileup of breathy McSnot face, this Saturday, Sunday and Monday. Like
Oh,
why would I do that? So,
I know. And it's like the thing is, I'm trying not to be a complete crazy person because I have been with this stuff, but only because I got a job where it was a big job. I got a big job in September, October, and they were like, you have to be on isolation from like everybody and everything. You're getting COVID tests every other day. And it's like, if I fucked up,
mhm.
I was screwed.
On your ass, yeah.
But there was a couple things that happened where it was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. I ended up at a show where it was like super crowded, and looking back, I was like, the windows, they took the this was back early September. People were loosey goosey because it was nice in
Mhm.
Toronto, and we were doing outdoor stuff. And then, before you know it, right? It's like, oh, we kind of got to go back indoors again. Oh, it's okay. We're still partying, everybody. Let's just open all the windows and
Open
doors.
all
And
the windows.
and then it was like, all right, this is awesome, and then it starts getting nippy out, and everybody's buying up the hot lanterns that, yeah,
Mhm.
and if you got hot lanterns, you're fucking laughing, and people are building the weirdest shit out of like plastic, and it's like, I'm not breaking the rules, and then all of a sudden it's just like,
It's like this, yeah, it's like this saran wrap jungle gym people are trying to put together so that they can eat outside and, do
and
all this
it's so
shit.
weird because you can so quickly go from being like cool to all of a sudden like fucking afraid so
Mm.
fast. And it's like, I never thought in my life that I would be so deeply triggered. And I don't usually say the word triggered, but I've never by people wearing their masks improperly and just
Mhm.
having a general lack of respect for the mask in public places. And I'm like, just just do
It's so
it.
simple. It's so well. So that I guess is I want to bring it maybe back to something a little personal, not even that really that personal. But would you say that you're someone who's introverted, someone who's extroverted, somewhere in between?
Um
Maybe
yeah, I'm
pre-pandemic, because
extroverted.
everybody's a little bit. You're extroverted, okay.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, I'm an introvert on the outside, an extrovert on the inside. And it's like,
Yeah. Oh well, I mean everybody. I mean, everybody has this romantic view of what introverts are. It's like, oh, you have all those parties and unprotected sex. I'll go read Candide over here. I've got my Voltaire poster and my. It's like, shut up, dude. Like, okay, you don't like people. That's fine. Okay, whatever. It's not
Voltaire
a.
poster, amazing.
Well, whatever.
That's
But
funny.
it's just it's frustrating. It's like I and also I feel like it's too binary. You know what I mean? Like it's sometimes I think for me it's I have a very big tolerance and a big energy kind of bank for people. Um, but if I don't at any point, like it's about choice, right? Like if I get to be alone,
Hmm.
that's good. And I maybe don't even have to be alone, but if I have that option, I'm good. It's whenever that gets taken away from me and now there's no recourse that I start
No,
panicking.
no, you need the moment to the time to yourself.
Hmm.
And you need somebody that understands that, right? It's hard to
Hmm.
find those people. A lot of people like being around people all the time.
Hmm.
It's like I'm an extrovert, but I do shut off. And it's
Hmm.
like you need that time.
Well, it's also, I mean, just especially with, well, social media, but also like because everyone is so locked down and so starved for attention, I think people feel like I should be able to get a hold of you at any given moment. Like you should be on the other line.
Have you had people like messaging you during the pandemic and then they're like, why haven't you messaged me
Like,
back?
what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh.
it's like people have this narrative in their heads of what you're doing, and they're also experiencing something. And when you don't have the face to face,
Hmm.
that's when everything goes out of control. You mix that with being isolated and confused. It's communicating with people right now is very challenging, actually.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm shocked by what people expect from me in terms of response time.
Hmm.
And I'm shocked. I'm just shocked by what people are asking me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's
It's weird. It's just weird.
well, and I also, I mean, for me, it's I try not to be too uh edgy about it because a lot of the time people are they really just want to see how I'm doing. They really just want to shoot the shit. They really just want to help me with this, that, and the other. If I put something in displaced or if I, put out an open call for submissions or whatever, of course people are gonna want to, share stuff with me. It makes perfect sense. And so I never try to be too rude. It's only when someone starts to get like a little, like, "What do you just not like me anymore?" It's like, I
Yeah.
do. It's fine. It's just like I have to.
Where it's like, seems I've offended you. It's like, wait a second, you sent this message to me 20 minutes ago.
Oh wait. Oh gosh. And you also get that on. I mean, I can only imagine, on the girl side, but if for like dating websites, it's like someone
It is,
pings you and then it's like, what, so, like, did you just hate me? Like, you just, yeah, it gets very. People can be very entitled.
yeah, it's just strange.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think we all just need to be more patient with each other and just be like, hey, maybe why don't you think that for a second that, yeah, everybody's going through something very unique right now?
Yes. Yeah, and so everybody has different tolerances. Everybody has different experiences with it, and yeah, I mean, it's just difficult to.
I think it'll
But
be better for everybody in the end. I mean, aside from the economy, but let's face it, the economy ain't so great already.
yeah, it was kind of fucked and getting more fucker as time was going by.
Fucker, fucker.
Fucker fucker. Um. Well, so I usually I mean these things are usually around 45 minutes, so I don't want to
All right, awesome, cool.
suck your time up. But is there anything that you want to, I mean, plug or anything you want to share that's gnawing at you that you want people to
No,
know
I'm
about?
doing your show.
That's right. That's right. It's yeah, it'll be Tuesday, 9 Eastern Standard. The Zoom link is coming out soon. And yeah, bring as many people as you physically can. I'm trying to hit those
That's
numbers.
that's been another hard thing about Zoom is like making sure you have the right time.
Oh my God. I am convinced that every citizen of California fails basic. I mean, it's just like, what's like, what I missed it. It's like, because you're 3 hours behind on this shit. Just add three. Add three, Chad. It's not that, it's like, is your brain just full of smoke? I mean, I'm sorry.
I
I'm
love
just angry.
I know. It's whenever I wear a sweater, whenever it's chilly here and I wear like a big knitted sweater, they're always like, "Oh, you look cold." And I'm like, "Yeah, like I'm cold. You look not cold."
Yeah, it's cold
I'm
outside.
very jealous of them. I want to go, I want to be, I am jealous of them somewhat. So I always have to make sure I'm in like California clothes when I do a California mic.
Oh, yeah, so they don't feel alienated. Like, what? She's not wearing sandals? I don't understand. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. So show is on Tuesday. I'm super. Oh gosh, my internet is telling me I need to leave soon. My webcam starts to like
Oh,
slip
it is.
into
It's
the.
doing that a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to. Maybe that's part of the aesthetic too. Like kind of the grainy makes me feel very like VCR.
It is
Um,
cool. It is cool. It does look intentional. So
well, from all you know, it is. But I'm super excited to see you perform Angelica along with everybody else. And I'll be putting this video on my YouTube so you can comb it for content if you want.
I'll be sure to do my finest, crunchiest, spiciest, my
Crunch. My
Dorito,
best Doritos, your tight 10 Doritos set.
my tight 10 Doritos.
I'm so sorry. I'm
No,
so
I like
sorry.
it. It's actually a great way to describe comedy. It's good.
Well,
Chips.
we've all, yeah, I mean, I'm a Pringle. I'm kind of flimsy and, I'd stack on top of myself. I don't know. I don't know where the fuck this analogy is going. I will see you on Tuesday. I'm super excited.
Day. Nice
All right.
talking.